man, maloa, talapalava, malolei, kia orana, pulavinaka, alo one tax, and welcome you, mob. And my name's Ryan. I'd like to welcome you to the Nesian Kings NRL preview, and welcome you to. And I'd like to, if you're a new viewer, you're joining the broadcast, and that make sure that you stay with us. Because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking in your Q&As. If you've got questions there for the panel, make sure that you, in the Q&A section of the broadcast, make sure that you write your questions in there, and our panel will get together, sort out the winner, and we'll actually answer your question in there. But thank you for joining us, and first of all, I'd like to welcome everyone. We'll go all the way to the land of the long white cloud, and we'll start with Cass. Cass, also introduce yourself, and welcome to the broadcast, brother.
Yeah, talofa lava, whakaloha laia to everybody out there. It's great to have people on board, and it's good to be here. And it's been a real busy week for Rugby League, so it's a lot to get into tonight.
Absolutely. Phil, our Warriors inside man.
How's everyone doing? I don't know about the inside man, but yeah, good to be here. Looking forward to some international footy, some rep footy. Like Cass said, it has been a huge week for the NRL. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions.
And all the way to the sunny Gold Coast, eh?
Yeah, man. Talofa lava from the Sunshine State, Queensland, Gold Coast. Welcome to all the viewers, and talofa to all the panel tonight. Looking forward to really getting down and having a good chat about what's been happening in our game in the last week.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely, guys. So if you can just have a look, yep, basically that's our NRL preview for the week. You know, this is Nesian perspective on what's been happening out on the week. So to get things rolling, and then if you can just for the check on our power up, and to start off with, bros, you know, this is what we got, man, and it's basically.
What the?
This is a big shout out. Basically, this is a shout out to the League Talk with the boys, and this is one of the memes in that they actually come up. But this leads us, man. Warriors come out to play, man. So energy drinks and prescription drugs, which basically leads us to our first discussion point for the night. And Jules, man, I'll have to go with you also. So we're going to be going with you, brother. And it's Warriors. Give Manu Vatuvai leave of absence on medical grounds. Man, what the hell is going on there, brother?
Yeah, it's pretty concerning.
We'll go with you first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty concerning. Obviously, with Manu, you know, the stalwart of the Warriors in the last 10 years, I think, and you know, seeing the guy come through all those challenges in the past and to hold that standing in the club and, you know, within New Zealand Rugby League, and to see this, you know, it really sort of probably hit home as to the reality and the seriousness of what's going on there. I don't know too much. Obviously, Phil will fill us in on what's happening there, but I brought this up because I'm a big fan of Manu Vatuvai. You know, just the things that he's overcome to be the player that he is, to be the man that he is, and to actually see him take time out to, you know, reassess his future is, you know, that says a lot about, you know, the enormity of what's happened in the off the field. That's for me. For that article, is just concern more for the guy, for the man, his family, and you know, really hope that things are okay, and hope that they've got supports around him to make sure that he gets through this hard time.
Mm-hmm. Yes, before we go to Phil, and then like, what are your thoughts on it? I know we were talking last week. Roy was sharing about how how much of an awesome player. It was really great to have him back on board with the Warriors, and we were really sort of looking forward to seeing him in the Kiwi team. But there's all the stuff in that's underlying that we really don't know. And like an example would be the Kieran Foran case, but here we're talking about Manbatway. Kes, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, no, I was shocked like everyone else. Manu's one of the most loved league players, especially with all the Polynesians. And to see that what's happened to him over the last week, been really devastating. He's been on the league scene for over 10 years, well over 10 years now, and it's just it's not what we've come to know Manu for. Going out, having the pills with the Red Bull, and I don't know if he was one of the ones that didn't turn up to the meeting on time, but that's not the Manu we know. So obviously there are issues, like Jules said, that he needs to deal with, and he's doing the right thing. He'll take a break, and from the Warriors' perspective, he'll be better for it. So we'll rather have him back when he's 100% well-being, feeling good, and as opposed to trying to deal with stuff and playing as well. So it's a really sad time for us, but we wish him well.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we'll take it over to Phil. Well, bro, it's been a busy week and that with the Warriors. I know you're an inside man. I know there's probably some stuff you can talk about. There's some that you can't. But anyway, who cares about the stuff that you can't? Just let it all out, brother.
Yeah, obviously, I was up at the game on Sunday, and it was a bit weird seeing those 6 boys running out for the ISP. But in saying that, they didn't drop their game or anything. They still played like they normally do. It is a sad situation that happened, and it's even worse that it's 6 poly boys as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of background stuff that obviously can't be discussed, but just as long, I suppose, as Manu gets the time that he needs to assess what he needs to do, and there is a lot of support around him, and that, along with the other boys, there's a lot of support around them as well. So the club's doing all they can to try and support those guys and getting through what they need to get through. In regards to the Kiwis jersey, I think Stephen made a call just as Mal Meninga did, with Milford and Nupper and that. You got to show discipline in your club in order to get that jersey. It's not just a given. I'm glad that they've done that in a sense, So the international jersey is not just a given. It's you have to work for it.
Yeah, it's a privilege, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So is that just confined to Manu, or is that across the rest of the guys?
The leave of absence, or
the issue with the prescription drugs and
no, that's across the rest of the guys, and I'm sure it happens at other clubs and with other. It's I don't know. I guess it's a way of getting. I've never done it myself, but I guess it's a way of getting a bit of a buzz without using illegal drugs and
Alcohol. Yeah.
And alcohol, yeah.
But it has apparently has the
same effect.
Same effect as some of those hardcore drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is quite sad when players.
Yeah. So, what drug are they actually using? Well, what prescription drugs, would it be the same as what the Risses boys and that used last year, or is it different drugs, or is there any particular drug?
I'm not sure. I'm thinking of painkillers, maybe.
I think they're painkillers.
Like
I think
tramadol.
there's strong painkillers. You mix it with energy drinks, and that sort of spikes up. I don't know. It just has that same effect, I guess, as what's been written, same as cocaine, the same sort of effect. So, I mean, if that's correct, if that's true, then it is quite a serious matter, if you like. If you've got our players getting into that sort of stuff, but you know, like Phil said, it's you know, a lot of things happen behind the scenes that we're not privy to, or you know, or understand what some of these guys go through. And you know, the whole thing with the Warriors and what's been happening over there, I think it opens up a can of worms as to who's obviously they're responsible, but you know, also like the agents. Where are the agents in all of this? I had a discussion with a friend of mine regarding agents. They should be not just there to negotiate. That's your go-to man. I mean, like I spoke to a former Vikings who's over here. He said he only talks to his manager maybe 3 times a year, and that's only when it comes to negotiating a contract. You know, in between that time, there's no, hello, how's it going? You know, what's been happening? Is there anything I can do to help? There's nothing like that. And I'm not sure if that's across the board with all managers, but, you know, if you that movie, Jerry Maguire, I think that's how a manager should be. There should be a relationship, not just negotiation and contracts. But he should be the person that looks after his client to make sure welfare-wise, education, all that sort of stuff, that he's there supporting.
Yeah.
But his manager might be anyway, so I'm just speculating.
Yeah. And I know a lot of player managers, you know, once they've signed their player and they've got them into a club and they're on to the next best thing, you know, the next big thing straight away, trying to get it before the next manager does, or, you know. I don't know if there's a lot of the personal relationship between the two, and you know that's what they need. And I think
exactly
welfare,
right.
The welfare officers at the NRL clubs need to probably not just concentrate on the younger, the 20s and that, but you know, go throughout the whole club. I'm not sure if they do or not, but they need to probably just check on the players every now and then, say, hey, how's it going? What's happening? Yeah, because like I said in one of my comments, they are just human, man, and you know.
Yeah, I think the thing that really stood out was because these two are senior players. They've been around the track for a long time, and you know, they're both family men. They've got kids, so you know, they've got support networks. You know, not only the managers that would help them too. So you know, that's why it was more of a shock as opposed to the younger guys. And you know, last year the Rabbits players Walker and Gray were rushed to hospital because they were undertaking the same risky behaviours. So that's why it's more of a shock, because these two are kind of stalwarts of the game, and so disappointing. But at the same time, we need to make sure that you know these boys are going to be looked after and all good.
Absolutely, there's a lot of good. I just want to say welcome to our viewers and that we've got on board. Like you guys, if you're listening in, you got some questions to that, or you got some comments to make about what we're discussing, just to your right of the screen. Make sure you put your questions in there, put your comments, and we'll read them out as we go along. Okay, but no, that's a lot of great insight in that. Yeah, basically the boys need support in that when these sort of things in that come up. Yeah, and you can see there's a lot going on in that. And what do you think about his response? Like his like on Instagram.
His Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that just shows that he's in a bad headspace at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, like Cass said, these guys are, him and Ben are senior players. I think it just shows that he's not the Manu that we all know and love. You know, so he's obviously got things that he needs to sort out, and hopefully that he can do that, and hopefully everyone gets behind him and supports him to do that.
Yeah, and I think it also, like, we should understand it, and there's been a lot written and said about, we have no idea what these players go through, you know, and although it's not soccer, it's not football where they're like internationally known, they are still well known within our two countries, particularly New Zealand, and they are under the microscope. So there's a lot of scrutiny as far as their behaviours on and off the field, and you know, Manu and they're still young, as far as I'm concerned, you know, and naive in some ways, as to you know, how big they really are, and how people will view them when things like this happen. So the response, I think, is I wouldn't say immature, but like Phil says, maybe where he's at the moment, his headspace, and maybe just a reaction. Like I said, he must be under a lot of pressure and a lot of stress.
Yeah. Oh no, definitely. I'm sure we'll hear a lot more about that, you know, within the coming weeks and that. But well, we'll get a move on in that program. Okay, John Pallavi. Who was this?
So I thought that's me. So I just wanted to highlight John Pallavi. So John Pallavi's the Tongan boy up there in Auckland Warriors. So in the weekend he played his fifth game for the NRL Warriors. He's been with the club for 5 years, so it's taken him that long to get that many games. But you know, he was signed up straight out of college, played for the Tuata Cup team for 3 years, and he's been playing for the Vulcans for the last 3 years as well. So, you know, I just want to highlight him because, you know, he's been around the scene and he's still in there. He's still sticking at what he's good at. But also outside of league, he's a top scholar. So, you know, he's had to put his medicine degree, bachelor in surgery degree, on hold while he's still playing Warriors. So, you know, I remember reading about him at college. He topped every subject that he was in. He was a top athlete as well. So, so it's good to see players like him, even though he's following his dream as the NRL. He's also got his other side of his life sorted as well. So something that our young Polynesian players need to consider when they're chasing that dream in the NRL, but also to have, you know, the education or the career thing on the side, just
have
because because we know the NRL is there for maybe a maximum of 10 years if you're a really good player, but after that, you know, if you're not prepared, you're going to struggle. So I think John Pallavi is good to highlight because he's got that other aspect covered, and he was really strong in the weekend too. You know, he was last minute call up with all those 6 that were dropped, and he really stood up. He was quite strong at the back, so you know, it'd be hard for the coach to actually, you know, who they're going to drop when those other boys become available to play again.
Oh, that's awesome. So, Jules, like in terms of that life after football sort of thing, do you think like a lot of the players in that they have that sort of thing in mind, or do a lot of them just sort of focus on the...
Yeah, I don't know about the Warriors, like with Phil's involvement up there with the Warriors, but yeah, definitely they've got education and welfare officers there that give these players, you know, options, ideas on what they can do while they're obviously playing professional football. Definitely, you know, rugby league is a small game when you look at how far they can go. You know, you only got 2 professional leagues in the entire world, you know, so there's not really too much space to move in. So unless you're a really star player, you know, you've got longevity in the game. But if you're not, then you need to have some sort of plan B. We did a program in Kibra Park High School. Kibra Park is like a rugby league nursery here on the Gold Coast. A lot of players like Benji Marshall, Eastwood, they've all come through that school. We did a program there a couple of years where we talked with the scholarship players, probably about 80 kids in that room. None of them had a plan B. Their goal was to make the NRL. And, you know, we highlighted that only, you know, in that room, possibly only 2 will get signed up. And out of that 2, maybe even 1 will make it to that next level, maybe not. And that's the reality there. And it needs to be not just from NRL, but from these schools like Kebra that bring these kids over from New Zealand scholarship to come and play football here in Australia. They need to really push the education and the plan B for these kids.
Yeah. Just to add on to that, like you got at our high performance camps in New Zealand Rugby League high performance camps, we do have an aspect there where it is all about careers for our young people. So we get people in to come and talk about, you know, what are you going to do if footy doesn't work out, or if you don't get a contract, you know, you got to make sure that you're thinking about that. Just at the moment, like since the under-20s program started in the NRL, in order to play under-20s, you have to be either working or studying. So, yeah, so that's quite big for the NRL. You can't play 20s if you're not doing either of those things. So that's what the welfare officers out there, like Jerry Seal for us, that's what he's doing. He as soon as a player comes into the under-20s program for the Warriors, they have to start studying or they have to start working, and that on top of their training regime. So all of the trainings are held early in the morning and then after 4 o'clock. So they don't have any excuse to not go to work or to school.
Yeah. Oh, wow. No, that's good to hear that there's going to be a lot of support in that in terms of that's being recognised, you know, that you really need to have a look at the, you know, afterlife, after the footy life. That's really good. Oh, well, guys, you know, there's a massive weekend of football and that coming up. So, our first game for the weekend, it's the Jillaroos versus the Kiwi Ferns. And basically, Julius and myself are going for the Jillaroos. I'll go to Jules first. Why the
Well, two
Jillaroos?
guys living in Aussie.
Oh, look, no, they've been dominant the last couple of years. I think the Kiwis have had it over them for a long period of time, but they've got some really, really good women coming through now. It's a shame Roy's not here, because Roy actually coached a handful of those girls who are now playing in the Jillaroos when Roy was coaching the Burleigh Bears women's team in the last 3 or 4 years. So he had a lot to do with you know, a couple of those ladies who are now representing Australia. And if you look at some of the footages and highlights in the last couple of years, obviously the Kiwis with their big hits, you know, they've made the highlight reels of all those big hits that the big Kiwi women have been. But the thing is, they've lost those games, I think. And I think that Jillaroos team, there's a lot of skill there. Not a big team, but, you know, like all Australian teams, you know, they use their skills. They use they're very skill orientated. And I think they're going to win it this week.
Yeah, I basically go with Julius and then what he's saying. I find a lot of the teams in that, like even with touch and like touch football, and also with the a lot of the teams, the Australian teams tend to use the ball a lot more, whereas the Kiwi teams, it's more like the individual skill or the talent, and not so much as and the physical side of things, eh? But so I've basically gone with the Jillaroos.
Yeah.
I've gone with the Ferns, only because you know, Alan Jackson's their coach, and I was there when he was selecting his team, and they're not it's not the normal type of, you know, your typical Kiwi Ferns team, where they're big girls and they're just going to go out there and smash. These girls have got some brains in them. I know we won the nines, and you know, so, and I know it's a different game, but there is some speed there. There is some really good talent with, you know, the passing skills that some of these girls have got. Georgia Hale, she's one to watch out for. Number 6 for the Kiwi Ferns, and obviously Serena Fissel who she's been in that team for a long time. A new girl that's come in from Wellington. She's at 18 there, Mary Jane Ali. She's also got a bit of toe on her, so she's, you know, it's got to be a good game. And I just think that I think they will get over them. The fans will get over them. Just got to watch out for their Ruan sins.
Yeah, no, I'm with Phil. I think the Kiwis, they'll be too physical. I think, you know, they'll be really hyped for this game. You haven't played at home for the last 2 seasons, and now they get to go overseas and play in Australia. So I think our forward pack will dominate, and then once they do that, I think they can unleash those new backs and the skills that Phil was talking about. So go to Kiwis.
Yeah, man.
Oh, awesome, guys. Oh, word.
Oh, Gherkin's in energy
that's
drinks now.
the first. What was that?
Gherkin's in energy drinks.
Alrighty, boys. Boys, mate. Okay, first of all, we had the Gherkins, mate. We had the Gherkins in the NRL. Yeah, this is the super secret stuff that's, yeah, the
It's a Manly game, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a Manly game. So the Manly guys, they had the Gherkins out in that. So I'm not sure whether you guys are going to be able to see this, but this will be the next one.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you might be able to see. You can see it's the that's from the Broncos. And if you have a look on your right, you can see what's going on there. You know, they're actually putting some. Apparently, it's peppermint. Eh?
Okay.
They've got
Really?
peppermint going down.
And put it under their tongue.
Yeah, they're putting peppermint in there under their tongues. Oh, so this is the secret
Oh.
stuff that
It's in your backyard.
This is the stuff they do in Newcastle.
the Knights have got going on. What the hell, mate? Surely, man. So that brings me a couple. That really brings me a couple of questions, mate. What, you know, with cameras, phones, and that being in, you know, in the changing sheds, you know, like you got cameras and stuff for that. Like, man, I'm not sure who the guy's name is. You know who that
Paulie.
was?
Paulie, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was sorry, yeah, the poor guy's not going to live this. Not going to live that down, yeah. And you've got cameras in there. Yeah, I don't know who actually took this. Whether they were allowed to be in there, like the privacy sort of thing.
Oh no,
like,
they have still cameras in the actual changing rooms.
Yeah, I
In
thought
every
that was
changing room
taken from the actual cameras that are in there.
Yeah.
Was
There's cameras in the changing rooms.
Oh, okay.
So
So
it's not a cameraman.
yeah, because mate, I tell you, that's not only disappointing for that fella, it's disappointing for the Knights. Oh my, I'm not sure.
He just positioned himself on the wrong seat.
I think it was part of the just to help with his breathing, so we could when he runs on the field, so that smell will really clear up
Smelling
the
salt.
nostrils there. So yeah, it's just, you know, as you can see, it's sniffing it up. So you know, yeah.
The smell of sweaty balls.
Yeah.
Surely, I'm just thankful he didn't put it down in his mouth. Oh my God. Okay, boys, we better move on, mate. That's enough. This is your man. This is your man, Jules. What's going on here, brother?
Hey, I'm so impressed with this guy. You know, just looking at his story, you know, he wasn't signed up first. It was his brother that was signed up from the Storm, and his brother said that, you know, he had an older brother that was probably better than him. And then, you know, they obviously checked him out, and the rest is history. And this guy has, you know, toiled away down at the Storm. Obviously, looks more like a back rower than a prop, but he plays you know, he's the number one prop in the world. He can play the up the guts game. He's got awesome footwork. He can offload, and he's got a brain. He can, you know, he's got really good hands, and just you know, as the game evolves, positions evolved, and I think he's helped evolve that prop position. where you're not your big stocky front rower. That he's really just a great player, and to be rewarded to be the Kiwi captain this week, I think is just it's just a credit to him and the work that he's done. And he's quiet. You don't hear him in the news for any bad media stuff. He's just does the job, and he's the difference between a good player and a great player is consistency, and he is probably the most consistent prop in the grade. He plays good every week.
Yeah. I bet Kenny wishes he didn't request him now.
well, Kenny got called up. Didn't he get called up to the Kiwis?
Yeah.
Extended squad, yeah.
The extended squad, yeah. But, I mean, at the Storm, he's on the bench because Jesse's there.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, he's about 6'5", Phil?
Yeah, he's a big man.
6'5", and he does a lot of work. His work rate's up there. Plays a lot of minutes.
Yeah. And
he's just quality player.
He's quiet. He just goes around and does his job, and that's what you want, eh? Someone just to do that. That's good. I mean, both captains have come out of the Storm for this weekend's game.
Yeah. And that's a credit to the Storm, really. It's they've got a great system down there.
Look at these two guys. What the? Bloody Aussies.
Who's that?
Those guys living over in Australia. What?
Look, mate.
Oh.
It's just the old. Okay, there we go, man. Cass, why are the Kiwis going to win? Despite everything, despite of everything happened and
No, I actually went for the Kangaroos.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I went for the Kangaroos in my document. I just think that, I just think when we lost two of us a shit, I thought, oh yes, we can still do it. And then when we lost Kieran Forum, I thought, oh, okay, yeah, we'll still do it. But then, with Matalino and Manarine and Manu, I think there's just too many senior players.
And Luke.
And Luke. I thought there's too many key players not there for the Kiwis. I mean, it's good we've got a lot of, we've got a lot of depth now, but yeah, I just think it's going to be a hard one. Sean Johnson's going to have to run the show himself, and his form at the Warriors hasn't been as good, but we know he steps up in the Kiwi Tuesday. But Tohu Harris will just be another loose forward running around for him, and then you've got Jonathan Thurston and Cooper Cronk running the other side of the show. So, my heart's with the Kiwis, but I just think because of all this adversity they've been through, it's going to be a big ask for them, the Kangaroos to win.
Sure.
Sad.
Oh, well, Phil, it looks like you're the only one. you're the only one that's picking the Kiwis.
No, I'm just happy that we've got a lot of depth in the Kiwis now. That we can go to players like like Manu, Ma'u, and Lewis Brown that can play anywhere. We have lost a lot of players. I'm still not convinced on Tohu being at 6. I think it might have been good to have Geordie in there and put Tohu in centre or something. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people said, the last time when Stephen Kearney picked like guys like Siliva, Aliva, and all those young boys that went through like Mari Tapau and all that, they said, oh man, what is this? We're gonna get smashed in this, and they ended up beating the Kangaroos. I think that these players can do the same thing. But I think they'll all step up. It's really looking at their back three, Proctor, Ma'u, and Tomalolo. That's huge. And then you've got the go forward of Adam Blair and Bromwich. You've got Marty Tapol coming off the bench. So there's a lot of, there's still a lot of firepower there with Eastwood and Sam Moore as well. I think our forward pack is better than the Kangaroo forward pack.
Yeah.
In terms of go forward.
No, I'll have to totally agree with you there in terms of the forward pack, but for myself and that, I think we just missed that finishing touch in the backs, and that we've lost quite a bit in that with Kieran Foran, Tuvasashik, Lulu, Lulu here, if he was going to make it, then he could win that from the. So I think it's a bit too much of a makeshift backline in that for me. So that's the reason why I'm going with
I'm the same. When you look at the key positions, the halves, Cooper Cronk, Thurston, and you got Cameron Smith. There's a lot of, I guess, criticism about Cameron Smith's play in the, during the year. But I think once he puts on that green and gold, it's going to be a different ball game. Better players around him. You got the two halves, two Queensland halves, and obviously your fullback there. It's a really good spine that they can work with, and I like their team. Their back line is huge, speed, power, and a bit of skill. So as much as Cass, mentioned it as well. Too many key players out, senior players in key positions that leave. Not much to fight against this Aussie team, but adversity can galvanise the Kiwis team, and hopefully they do come up. But I just can't see it happening.
Absolutely, man. But deep down inside, I'm cheering for the Kiwis. I'll be there at the game on this Friday night, so I'm hoping for a Kiwi win. The heart says the Kiwis, but the head says the Kangaroos. But go the Kiwis anyway.
Go the Kiwis.
All right, boys. This is just a promo and that for the Go Nuts Pacific. These are the Go Nuts necklaces and that. They've got it for the NFL, the NBA. It's an American brand and that. They've got sort of like the Ulas and that we have here.
Oh, nice.
But so one of the boys.
It looks like Lokpa.
The what?
It looks like a Lokpa. Remember the Lokpa nuts, the little red ones?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they've got it along those lines and that. So they've asked them if they've got any NRL Ulas in that. They said they're probably going to get that sorted out, but they've most probably got the Tongan and the Samoan Go Nuts Ulas in that. That's probably for this weekend. They're in production in that, so you can go to Go Nuts Pacific. You can order them at the mail.com. I want to get some of these great ulas to wear, show your colours, show your pride, and then go to ordergonuts@gmail.com. Okay, sweet boys. So that's alrighty, mate. Yeah, a few years, maybe a couple of years back, they got into that big brawl and that with the junior Kiwis and is it junior Kangaroos?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that big brawl and that. I'm not too sure who's won. Like the junior Kiwis won it that year. Was 2014, 2015. Was it the Kangaroos or the junior Kiwis that won?
That's a good question. I'm not too sure last year.
Did they have it this last year?
No, it was the Kangaroos that won last year.
That won it. Yeah.
We won the year before that one.
Yeah, the Kangaroos.
1 point in this game here.
Yeah.
Last year and this year, we've all gone with the junior Kiwis. So, any thoughts on why the junior Kiwis? You can see that's the team list there. There's a few Islanders, Nesians and that on both sides. Any thoughts on the game, guys?
Well, Tipple will be the inside man. He knows a lot of these players.
Phil?
Yeah, I mean, when you've got someone like Ata Hingango, directing the team around, he's class at the moment. I think he'll be playing, top grade pretty shortly. He's just, and then you've got the likes of Nate Roach, who's played as well. He's played in the top grade. Brad Abbey had a good game against the Warriors ISP team in the weekend just gone for the Bulldogs. Ken Tofiloa, who's from Christchurch, and he's playing well. He's over in Newcastle at the moment, and he's playing well. And you've got Offa Ogden, who's a beast. He's a huge boy for such a young kid, and just to go for the deal will be awesome. So I think they will have it over them. There's a lot of passion in that team. Calvin Wright, he's a good coach. He's the coach of the Warriors 20s team as well at the moment.
Yeah.
And I think he'll get those boys up. Him and there's another coach from Canberra, Ezra Howe, who's also a really good coach.
Yeah. Just wanted to, it's funny to see Jaden Nicarima for the junior Kiwis.
Yeah, his brother's committed to the Aussie team in
Australia.
Yeah, Kangaroos.
Yeah.
I think they
Any
were brought
thoughts
up
on
here.
that, or?
I think they were brought up here, weren't they, or born here? Roy would have had that information, but they're definitely, most of their lives here in Australia.
I think
And,
a lot of time in Australia.
yeah. And we've come like I've been over here. I'm meeting a lot of kids that have been brought up. Some of them still, obviously, proud Kiwis, and regardless of whether they go on to represent Australia. But when you talk to them, they've got that real Australian twang, and that their life has been. This is all they know. And I guess their links to New Zealand is just through their heritage. And sometimes it's not as strong. They're still proud of their Māori side, but Australia is the country that they've been brought up in and feel compelled to represent. So I got nothing against that. It's good on them.
No.
I mean, I guess it's like us being brought up here in New Zealand. We're not from here. We're originally from Samoa, but we still say we're Kiwis and we call New Zealand home. It'll be the same as these guys. Some of us have represented New Zealand in our sports. So.
No, but it's great to see a lot more Nesians coming through the junior Kangaroos. So over the next few years, it's going to be really interesting. A lot more of them coming through.
It's happening. I mean, it's even in rugby as well. The under 20 All Blacks are here playing their Australian counterparts, and there's just as many Polynesians in the Australian team than there are in the New Zealand team. So we're definitely seeing it's happening. The migration is 2-3 generation Polynesians that have been brought up here in Australia. And when I first came over, it was quite weird to see Polynesians support like the Wallabies. Coming from New Zealand, where we've always supported the All Blacks. And then come over here and just seeing Samoan support the Wallabies, I was like, what?
Yeah.
But they were brought up here. They live here. It's just like us when we migrated to New Zealand. We've become Kiwis, and the same for these guys. So we're going to see a lot more Polynesians, Māoris representing Australia, and not just rugby league, netball, all these sports.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And that's when I first came in '94 and that. Initially, a lot of the PIs in there, or the Nesians in there, it was mainly Tonga and Fiji, right? Because of the migration, I think Samoans and that went to New Zealand. A lot of the Tongans and Fijians and that came to Australia. So that's why you'll find that with the Fijians, there's a lot more affiliation with the Australian teams than the New Zealand teams. So but it's great to see. Was it? Yeah, a lot more. It's good to see a lot more of the Samoans and that coming through and the Kiwi boys and that, which pretty much brings us to your man for the week.
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight Nate. He's been out injured for the last 3 or 4, almost month and a half. Yo.
So Nathaniel Roach. So how's he your nephew? Is this a
He's my cousin. Yeah.
Son or?
Kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
So he's he's worked really hard to get to where he is. He's come through the 20s program, and just for this week, I wanted to highlight him because he has come off an injury. I spoke to him on Sunday, and asked how the injury was, he said the injury was fine, but the lungs were burning. And so straight from a New South Wales Cup game, he's going straight into a test match against the junior Kangaroos. So it's going to be a tough one for him if his lungs are burning that much in the New South Wales Cup game.
Oh, well.
Yeah, but he is a really hard worker, and he's done well to get back from he had a high ankle sprain, and yeah, he wanted to get back for that test match, and he's managed to do that. So,
Wow.
props to him.
Good on him.
Yeah, he's
Right.
definitely a player of the future. I think, especially for the Warriors, he'll be one of, I guess, one of the marquee players in the years to come. And it was just unfortunate that he had his debut in round one, and then we haven't seen him back then. And we've seen young Vanga come in as well. But I think young Roach here, man, he's going to be, whether he plays hooker or 5'8", because he's got good utility on him as well. He can play in the back line anywhere. So. Yeah, he's going to be a superstar for sure.
Well, hopefully the Warriors can hold on to him.
Yeah. Well, he has to keep his head down. His girlfriend is Steve Price's daughter. So.
Oh, man.
That's Warriors royalty.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, word. Oh, man, massive shout out to Nathaniel, mate. All the best in that for
All the best, man. All the best.
all the best for the professionals, mate. We look forward to following your journey. I wish you all the best, brother, for this weekend. Alrighty, mate. So that brings us to
Game of the weekend.
Cass.
Oh. What the?
Cass, this is you. This is you.
Yeah, no, I just wanted
The real reason why the MILF is not playing for Samoa.
Yeah. I mean, it's just highlighting the kind of the Mickey Mouse situation with being eligible for the different teams, different countries, and so this photo was taken 2 weeks ago when so Manu Ma'u and that's Joseph Paulo. So that was taken because those two were going to play for those, and Manu Ma'u was already going to be the captain for Tonga. Fast forward 2 weeks, Manu Ma'u's got selected for the Kiwis, and so he said see you later. And obviously that's good. It's a dream for him to get picked for the Kiwis. But so the Rugby League International Federation rules that you can only switch allegiance every 2 years. So what this means for Manu Ma'u now, if he's playing for the Kiwis now, he switched his allegiance from Tonga. So next year in the World Cup, if he doesn't make the Kiwi squad, he's not eligible for Tonga. And that's the same for Semi Radradra as well. If he doesn't make the Aussie squad, they can't play. And so if you look at Milford's, he's got switched, so he's not playing for Samoa in the weekend, but he could still play for Australia at the end of the year. But also, if he doesn't get picked for the World Cup for Australia, he can still switch to Samoa. So that's what they're saying. The reason is behind Milford not playing this weekend because everybody wants that guy playing, but obviously for disciplinary reasons he's not playing for Australia. But these rules need to be changed because we've got so many Polynesian players in the NRL. About 38%. And when it comes to the World Cup, that's when you want all your best players available. And so, this is going to kind of rob us of some of our best players. But yeah, it's just a shame. But really pumped for the Samoa and Mateo Tonga game this weekend.
Absolutely. So what you're saying is basically that so Milford's not playing in these games this weekend because it gives him the opportunity. If he doesn't play now, he gets picked for the Australian team. He's got one more chance to be able to switch before the World Cup.
Yeah, that's right.
I read that today, and and I think Bennett had something to do with that to make him. I don't think he's going to play for Australia this year because of the stand down from Queensland. And if he doesn't get picked for Australia next year, you're right, then he can play for Samoa in the World Cup. So I still can't see why he can't play. To be
Well,
totally honest.
because they got the Four Nations at the end of the year. You know, he still might be able to make it. I'm not sure. Was there a ban across the whole year?
It
I
was
think
12
it's a
months,
ban
yeah.
across the year.
It was 12
Oh,
months
okay.
to ban.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah, so
Right.
it's a shame.
but that ban was implemented with the Queensland Rugby League,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not the
Yeah,
Australian. So Mal
Yeah, but
Meninga
you know,
could
Mel
change his mind.
Meninga's. Yeah, Mel Meninga, but he can't change it. He can't renege now because
Yeah.
that's the reason why he hasn't picked Milford and Napa and all those guys for this game now. It's because, you know, the same reason why Stephen Kearney hasn't picked the Warriors, you know, the indiscretions in their club. So if he picks Milford at the end of the year for the Four Nation, then obviously that's
That'll be
reneging.
the same. Yeah, but that'll be sort of similar to what New Zealand's done with the Warrior
Yeah.
players today.
Mm.
The follow through on it. Yeah, you can't get banned at club level and then still be allowed to play. Yeah, there's got to be some
International.
sort of.
That's right.
We sort of discussed the eligibility last week when Stephen Kearney came out and said, look, it needs to be changed where what Cass was saying. If he doesn't pick a certain player for the Kiwis, they should be allowed to play World Cup for
Yeah.
The
Samoa,
island
Tonga,
team. Yeah, man.
Fiji, yeah. And so he's all for that because he wants the best players out there as well. So it's not just a two-horse race, you know, Kiwis in Australia. He wants a bit of a challenge as well. So I think they need to change it to that. If you don't get selected for the team next year, like Cass said,
The two main teams.
yeah, if Manu Ma'u doesn't get selected for the Kiwis next year, then he's sitting on the sidelines watching the game.
Mm.
You know, the World Cup. He's not even travelling to the World Cup, which is a shame.
Huge.
It is a shame. Hopefully they'll get that crap sorted out. And that, so, really to promote the international game, but you know, it's what I'm hearing from like from the media and that it's really up to Australia, like in terms of
NRL.
the NRL and in terms of making those changes and that to allow players and that to represent their home countries if they don't selected for the top three.
Absolutely, and then you know, rugby league is I don't know whether you call it reactive or proactive, but they change rules all the time. You know, rules in the games, and you know that 1 week you're allowed to do a certain thing, and then something blows up, and then the next week it's changed. So, in that respect, in changing that rule, it's not like a rugby union where it has to go through so much red tape, and then it doesn't happen. With rugby league, those rules can be changed if people make enough noise. People that have higher standing in the game, like Steve Kearney and hopefully Mal Meninga, that are able to advocate for some of these players that don't get picked for those teams, to still, showcasing their skills on the international stage. That will showcase our game.
Yeah.
So on that point, like what you're saying, and like making enough noise, like we've just recently seen that apparently Bennett's starting to, he's partying right now because now their whole golden point is starting to change for the finals game. So, but that'll be another. There'll be another topic in there for next week and that, but yeah. So like you said, make enough noise. Bennett's made enough noise with the golden point rule, and apparently they've got changes that coming up for the finals this year. Alrighty, well, we'll move right along, mate, and we're going with the PNG versus Fiji. Jules, mate, you'll have to go because we're all gone with Fiji. PNG, wife.
I've gone underdogs. Because obviously they play in the Queensland Cup, and a lot of their players
Oh my gosh,
are in the Hunters team, and they play in the Queensland Cup. And I did watch them, and I guess there's a bit of a soft spot for PNG.
So there's nothing soft about them the way they hit.
Well, that's it. You know, when you look at their team, it's the same body from the number 1 to the number 17. They're all muscly. But then the soft spot for these guys.
Yeah.
What was that?
Sorry, the Malor law, eh?
Yeah.
Really.
There's no fat. We've got a PNG player in our under-20s. We call him Tank. You know, he's I think he's 19 years old. He looks about 45, but his body is there's no ounce of fat on him. It's just muscle, and he's our go-forward man. And but anyway, to the game, I just that no country loves the game of rugby league like PNG, and a lot of my friends that play Q Cup and they travel to Papua New Guinea to play against the Hunters. They're playing in front of 15 to 20,000 people in a big international stadium. They love their league, and these Q Cup players are treated like their national sport. And they just when the guys go over, they just feel like they're celebrities. But just these guys that play for the Hunters, I think they'll be good. I think hopefully they'll compete against the Fijians, and they play a great brand of football, entertaining, and just like Fijians, really, the Melanesians. It'll be a really good game. It'll be an awesome game.
It'll be a dark one.
Yes. Why Fiji?
Oh, that's a good one. Nah, yeah, Fiji. I think they'd just be too much firepower. They got more NRL stars than PNG. They've got Evan Sisawaka's there. They've got a whole lot of players that even are the Sims boys playing, or they're not playing? Oh, they are. The Sims, they're quality players as well. So, it's a shame that Fiji doesn't play against Samoa Tonga more often, because they should be playing against those teams. And no discredit to PNG, but I think Fiji's really come up a lot of levels. They've probably progressed a lot more than Samoa and Tonga have over the last couple of years. So yeah, I think Fiji will have a big one in the weekend.
Oh, absolutely. Alrighty, boys. That brings us to
the game of the weekend.
The game of the weekend, mate. Mate, that was bloody incredible, mate. The tackle by Casciano, their try saver, mate. Sharks, you know what I forgot? I forgot to actually pick to see who we actually went for. So I'm sure we all went for Samoa.
We all went for Samoa.
Easy.
I'm sure we hopefully. And alrighty. Jules, take us through the why Samoa, because Tonga looks like they've got a good team.
Oh, Tonga's got a great team. They've got a good team. But if you're looking at firepower, if you're looking at man for man, each position, I just think we've got it over them. Casciano and Frank Pritchard coming back is awesome, and I think we've got a better halves. Who we've got? Manu Brown and Peter Godinay. I think they're a stronger half combination than Mateo and Langi. Although Langi, he's not a bad player. I think he languishes down in reserve grade for, I think, the Roosters the last time I heard. But yeah, I just think with the forward pack, the outside backs, I think there's some good players there, and players that are coming from good clubs like the Sharks. They've got some representation in their winning culture. I think we'll do really well. I think we're gonna. I think we've got them covered, the whole 17. I think it's gonna be a good game, though. It's gonna be really, really good. Physical.
Really hoping to make it down to the game this weekend, but see how it goes. It's going to be a fantastic game. Any other thoughts about the game before
it's just good to see Peter Godinay back in the NRL with Manly, and to get that jersey again, and also the brothers playing, Kesa and Frankie. Good to see them, proud.
That'll be really good.
Yeah, and Aaron Clark as well. He's a good youngster.
Is that Timapara?
Yeah, that's up.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, I think even though we've got the kind of more experience and kind of more bigger names, I think once those Tongans put on that red jersey, and they're pretty passionate bunch, it's gonna pretty much even it out. So it's gonna be another hit fest as usual, but then we'll come down to the top two inches at the end who can actually get the ball out wide as opposed to running it up the guts. Who can get it to the wing? But yeah, it's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a tight one.
Absolutely, absolutely. Alrighty, boys. Mate, yeah, I'm a man for memes, man, and this is one of the funniest memes I saw.
I saw that,
Especially with this whole thing that's going on. Yeah. And thanks for tagging me in, Phil, for that. As you can see, Newcastle Knights, mate. And there we go, bro. We're off the bottom of the ladder.
For now.
For now, bros. But thanks for tagging me on that one, Phil. But we don't need, I reckon give Para the points back. We don't need it to get off the bottom.
No,
mate.
you do. You do.
No, we don't.
2 weeks you'll be square again.
All right. So, but from there, that brings us to your man.
Yeah, this is my guy.
Phil?
I just wanted to bring him up because he's another guy with everything that's gone on with poly players this week. He's a young kid that got in a bit of trouble when he was with St. George. And he's obviously turned things around at Manly, and he's just put his head down and decided, I'm gonna play some footy and behave myself. And now he's made the city side, which is pretty good for a young fella. He's a good player. He's got good support in Manly. He's quite happy there. So yeah, it just goes to show, you do. Yeah, he's a really good boy. But it goes to show that you can, make better choices for yourself. And a lot of stuff that I do with the welfare and education is about making those choices. You always have a choice. Everything you do, you always have a choice, and it's you have to think about what choice you make to better yourself rather than to put yourself down. And we always talk about personal brand. So even the stuff that you put on the internet, the stuff that you post on your Facebook page, or Instagram, it's all about your personal brand. Because agents do go into that and have a look at that, and they say, oh, well, this guy, he's a bit of an idiot when he's out, so we'll just go straight past it. So it's huge for Aiden to turn his career around. And it's a shame he had to go through what he had to go through in order to do it, though. So I just wanted to point him out because I think he's doing some really good stuff, and hopefully our younger viewers and players can have a look at that and take a leaf out of his book.
Sometimes sometimes you have to go through that to actually for him to be where he is there now. Probably a better player now, having gone through all that adversity.
Getting a bit of a scare about losing your contract.
And I just think players that overcome those those things that happen, they come back as better players. I'll take Kenny Edwards, for example, who's really tearing it up for the Parramatta Eels. Like, he was languishing. He was playing club football up here. He played for our team in 2010 after being under 20s with Manly and St. George, and just troubled off the field. He was overweight when he played for us, but was still damaging. He was playing out in the centres. And he always showed that he should be playing at a higher level, and he had to go through all of that because he had a bit of a chip on his shoulder. He had to go through all of that, be humble, and to get another opportunity. And now he's living the dream, and we're just happy for him to see that he's made it there. And but if he hadn't gone through that, and you know, overcome. I don't think he would be the player he is today.
Yeah.
Cass?
Yeah, no. I mean, it's like people said, we need more of these kind of stories to come out. You know, a lot of our players that go and don't make it, they give up. And you know, last year we had the cases of those suicides. So, you know, stories like this are good. They show that there is resilience in a lot of our young Polynesians, and if they keep at it, they'll get there. So, you know, these are good stories that we need to promote more often.
Absolutely. Yeah, got to bring out these stories and that perseverance and that, and sticking with it. So there's 2 more games. I forgot to actually preview it, but so it's Queensland residents versus the New South Wales residents, and
Queensland residents.
I'm sure Julius. Yeah, I'm sure Julius will be the only one going for Queensland, and
Yeah.
and city versus country, like so.
I don't even.
No, I'm not talking to you.
He's got no interest in that game.
Aiden. So did he make the city team or the country team?
City.
City, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you like? Okay, this is for Cass and Tipo. What do you guys reckon about the city and country game? Should it be going on? Like, should they continue to have it? As far as Julius is concerned, he doesn't give a shit. Yeah, so but for us guys, us staunch New South Wales supporters, what do you reckon?
I think so. Sorry, Cass. I think it's, you know, as good as it gives those guys like Aiden a chance to put on a rep jersey and, you know, just see what it's like, and, you know, who knows, he might shine really well and it might be a blue jersey later on, you know. So I think it's good to have that game.
I think it's good, but I think it has lost its value hugely over the last, especially over the last decade. Back in the days, all the stars were playing in it, but now, you know, there's probably only like 4 spots that are available, and that's all that the whole team is playing for. Who can get those last 4 spots or 2 spots, whatever. So, you know, it's a shame because there was a lot of history behind it. You know, the country, that's a lot of the New South Wales players were born and bred, and so it's a shame that it's ended up like that. But yeah, still have the game because then it's another game to watch on the weekend.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Alrighty. Thank you very much, boys. So that was really great. Thanks for your insights and that into the NRL from the BroFrehionals. Really great having you guys on board. Thank you so much for everybody that's joined us and they'll be watching this. Make sure always post up your questions and that, and we'll be able to give away any prizes and that. And we'll select it for next week, and we'll send it out to you guys. Okay, but thank you, Cass. Thank you, Jules. Thank you, people. Much appreciated. We look to catch up and review the test weekend with the NRL review with the BroFrehionals. Thanks, Usos. Mahalo lava.
Mahalo.
Yeah.
Mahalo.